Welcome to Sizing Up the Music. I'm your host, WJ. My special guest is the 67 Grammy Award winner for the Best Contemporary Blues Album. He's an author, a storyteller, singer-songwriter, founder of Good Witch Records, and a true force of nature. Glenda Benevides. Come on in. Take your shoes off and let's size up the music.
Yeah, thanks.
Welcome to Sizing Up the Music, Glenda. And congratulations on your Grammy Award, the Best Contemporary Blues Album.
Thanks.
Glenda, what does this recognition mean to you personally and creatively?
I think what it really does is it really says to me I'm on the right track and that I'm playing music that people want to hear, that people want to experience. And I I just feel like it's a really powerful moment for me to be able to step into that place, and it helps with my own confidence and my own availability to say, "Hey, this is who I am, and I hope you enjoy it."
All right. Glenda, the song We Walk on Past has a powerful title. Can you share the story or message behind the song? What inspired you to write this song?
The story behind the piece we walk on past, I, I I just really saw it from a place of how we carry traumas and violence in our memories and how we refuse to be broken. Um, Also, it's kind of a generational pain and pride. That's kind of where I was coming from. Grief, struggle, memory, how we rise above all this, and how we ignore what is really there. Um, really interesting times for that. So, and I really came from a place of I wanted to say something about how we just walk on past whatever it is, right? So, what happened was there was a story. A good friend of mine actually was on his way to work and he pulled in to get some gas. And he pulled up and got ready to pump his gas. And he looked over and he saw this guy on the ground, like on this tarmac area, just dragging himself across the tarmac. And and he looked around and everybody's like, la, 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 la. No one's paying attention. Everyone's pumping their gas. Nobody cares. And he thought, what's going on? So he ran over there. He's the one that said, hey, are you okay? Can I help you? Can I take care of you? Like, whatever. Do you need some water? He ran and got him some food, some water, called the ambulance and everything. And he came to pick him up. And he was so struck by that he had to write about his experience. And I saw the story and it just floored me. And that was when I thought, I need to write about that. And I need to talk about how we walk on past, how we ignore the things in our life that are really important. Just being human beings and taking care of each other and having a sense of that. I think that was really important for me to talk about We Walk on Past.
Oh, that's remarkable. You performed around the globe. Was it something in your music, lyrics, or something deeper that opened those international doors?
Yeah, I've done a lot of traveling and through my life. And yeah, the doors, I think as you move forward in life and your career and your passion, whatever that is, I think it's really important to just continue to do that. And what happens is doors open and people get interested and people want you to come here, come there. So I think that was one of the main things for me as far as my traveling goes. And, nothing deeper, of course, in the sense of, um, oh my gosh, this was so much deeper. And so now it's with an international market. It's like, I'm deeper. I'm the one that wants to share something. And I have the passion. I have the courage. I have the desire to do that. And so, sometimes that road leads you into really positive things, and sometimes it doesn't. But I think a lot of doors just opened, and they continue to open, and I continue with that intent.
Your music blends blues with R&B soul. All right, all right, all right. Why are these genres your chosen voice, and how do they speak to your spirit as an artist?
Yeah, blues, R&B, I think that's always been something that touches me. Um, I think that the flavor of my voice and the intentions that I have with music that I write, I think suits itself the best for more of a blues, rootsy, R&B flavor. Um, and it's a hybrid. So when you listen to it, it's like, is it country? Is it rock? She's, is it blues? What is it? I think you just have to listen for yourself and then make up your own mind. I try not to label or categorize myself, even though sometimes we need to try to help define what we're doing at the time. So, yeah, it's, that's what I'm doing now.
You produce fundraisers for causes like climate restoration and Shakespeare Society. How do you balance artistry and activism, and why is that important to you?
If I'm going to do my job, and my job happens to be writing and singing and performing and really supporting people, I feel that the things that are near and dear to my heart, and also that are really key right now for our environment, it's to help each other educate and resonate with something. And so for me right now, it's One Tree Planted, environmental impacts on our environment, and helping people see that we're all connected and that it's really important that everybody plays the part. If everyone does something, then things get resolved, people get involved. And I think that's really key now. And I feel like we're at a stage right now in our society that we're waking up, we're stepping forward, we're like, hey, that doesn't feel good, or hey, that's not right. And I think we're really seeing that, you know my environment directly impacts and affects me, even though we don't think it does, because we're so insulated, we're so um, mired in our like little habit trails that we're on. Got to go to work, got to do this, got to make money, got to pay the bills. We're so blinders on for that. But hey, if you don't take care of the environment and we're burning all the time, or there's no water, how are you going to grow your food? How are you going to eat? You see what I'm saying? There's all this interconnection with everything. And really, we need to all wake up to that, and we all need to share that with each other, help raise each other's consciousness, our mindset, and really, really jump into something. Even if
Fantastic.
it's just local, it doesn't have to be big and enormous. It's just local. I love One Tree Planted. I love to plant trees. I love the oceans. I love scientists that really are figuring out, how do we do carbon capture? How do we allow ourselves to live a healthier life and not have so much cancer and all these other, effects that are happening with, you know, damaged environment that is, that we all suffer from. It's like one day you have allergies, next day you don't. I mean, you don't, and then you do. It's like, where's that coming from? It's an immune response. Why is my immune system going crazy? Well, guess what? I'm living by a freeway. Things like that. I think it's really important, and then we can make that difference.
Yeah,
That's really key.
huge key. As founder of Goodwood Records, what motivated you to take care of your musical journey?
I've always been an entrepreneur. So you are one if you're a serious musician. You just can't get away from it. As far as Good Witch Records, and it turned into Dolce Voce Records, and it was and Mirror Speaks the Truth, which is with my musical partner, Gene Williams, who is an amazing mixing, mastering engineer. Um, and a great songwriter. We've written so many songs together. It's phenomenal. So you kind of have to wear all the hats. You kind of have to really dig in and figure out how does that work? How does artistic ability and talent work with a business? They're two different things and they're two different mindsets, and it's very challenging for the artistic person. I know, but you have to get through it and you have to bring people in as a team that can really help you either understand, and work through it and really become, um, which is very challenging, an entrepreneur. They make money, not the artist, usually. That's your gift. That's your craft. That's your merch. That's your all of that. That's what you want to either use as marketing, give away, or use as tools. That's your tool. I mean, that's what I meant to say. So,
You have to be independent.
yeah, you've got to you've got to be independent and have something to work inside of.
No, you also wrote a TV script called Never Give Up. How does writing for television different from songwriting? And where do you draw your inspiration from?
Great question. Never give up. I also wrote another uh, musical called Divine Lust, and we launched that in Los Angeles, and then I closed it for various reasons. But how do I get the inspiration for that? Well, real life. I wanted to tell us for Never Give Up. I wanted to tell a story about three artists that kind of collide with each other. Um, one's kind of a narcissistic sociopath that try to take over innocent artists' way of being and use their talent, and it's an old story. But anyway, that's what inspired me to write that. I wanted to tell that story, and I wanted to tell it in a really creative way. And I also wanted to add in things that I'm passionate about. One is Queen Elizabeth I, Veronica Franco. She was an Italian courtesan in the same time period as Elizabeth I, and Queen Grace O'Malley. They're all in the same time period. And I thought, wow, these three women were really, really amazing and really empowered in their life. And how can I show that to a current um, group of artists, musicians that are struggling, and women that are trying to make it happen and being treated poorly, things like that. I thought, gosh, if they can do it, if they can do that in their time period where there was no rights for women, they were just to be married off and have babies and stuff like that. Or work for their father in a shop or something, whatever, work in the fields. I don't know. Anyway, I just had to write something about that. And I wanted to integrate that and make it kind of mysterious and spooky and that kind of stuff. And like, ooh, and then these three women become the mentor for this one female artist that actually was moving into an older age, and how we get stepped over as you get older. So I thought that would be a really compelling, deep story to tell, and to let women and other people know that ageism, yes, it's there, and we can overcome it.
Let's talk about your memoir. Find your fire and ignite action in your life. What part of your journey were you most afraid to share, and why did you share it anyway?
Aha, courage. Find your fire and ignite action in your life. Thanks for that. Yeah, I wrote it for many reasons, actually. One was actually a joke. I, not that the content is a joke. Let me rephrase. I wrote it as a challenge. And it became like silly for me because I thought I'm not an author. Um, it's not my passion. I'm a songwriter, and though they are different. They're, songwriting and being a book author are different. One's short form, one's really long form. But you're both in this. What is similar is that you are telling stories. So with Courage, I really wanted to use it as a teaching memoir. It was something that I thought after I got into it, which is this whole story about that. But after I got into it, I thought, okay, I've never done it before, so I'm going to create this outline and I'm going to do it in 15 days. So that was my goal, and I was kind of proving something to myself. Um, Not that that is true for everybody that's a writer, but I did, and then of course it took me another 6 to 8 months to actually go back over it, get an editor, the whole nine yards. Anyway, so courage. Whew, it takes courage to do that, to write about that, to be able to be visible, to be able to share, your authentic self, and that comes with the stories. That comes with um, really being sharing stories that you would never tell anybody, and if you do, how's that leave you open? All kinds of stuff comes up for But no, I really wanted to just use that as a teaching memoir, tell the stories, and then actually give a little like interesting antidotes. Like, okay, this is what I did in order to have courage. This is what I did to have clarity. This is what I did to have um, um, confidence. This is what I did to have commitment and community. And they happen in a certain way, and that's how it did for me, and that's what I'm sticking to. You got to have clarity before you can have community, and the reason I say that is because it's really important to know who you are, know what you want, and to be able to, because the rest follows. And then you can find yourself in the right community, not just a community. And then you really are more impactful and effective with who you're being. And it is in a realm of being.
Glenda, you're the voice behind the Badass Goddess, a podcast online magazine highlighting empowering women's stories. What do you hope listeners and readers take away from those stories?
Just to add on to the courage, find your fire and ignite action conversation around what was I afraid to share. And in essence, I'm not, and I wasn't. I wasn't afraid to really share what's in the book. So um, it may vary from person to person. I'm more an open person, open book. I find that um, when I can share my valuables, foibles. No, when I can share that, I think that it really is in service. It really helps people to go, hey, I happened to me too, or I did that too, or I wonder what she did to get out of that. And that's kind of where I was coming from. But nothing in the book really said, oh, you can't talk about that. That was good. Global Badass Goddess, yes. So the takeaway for that for me was I just really wanted other women to know that who they are, what they want, and how they can express it is good. Is who they are, so that they should just step forward and just be themselves, and to really express what they want to express and how they want to do it, and beyond what other people may think or want or whatever. And it's a wonderful evolution and growing session as far as that goes, as far as Global Badass Goddess. And I really wanted to step forward with that for them and with
How
them.
did the story start?
um, yeah, the story started in my kitchen. I had a girlfriend that at the time I was kind of mentoring, and then I had another girlfriend that came up to me in the kitchen. She said, "You're a badass goddess," and I was like, "Whoa!" And then my first initial reaction was like, "Wait a minute, no, I don't accept that." That was interesting. That was the moment where I went, "Wait a minute." That's her experience of you, and she's trying to give you a compliment. So what does that mean, and what does that mean for me, and why am I denying myself that compliment? Why am I shying away from feeling big or a goddess like person, you know. A lot of us women do that. Oh, no, 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 don't. It's okay. I'm not that, you know. It's like, no, embrace that. And so I really sat with that and I created a whole new way of looking at badass. What does that mean? Because that does, it freaks some women out too. I'm not a badass, you know, meaning like you have to beat somebody up. And I was like, no, it's not that. So I created this acronym around badass, and B for beautiful, A for accessible, S for, I would scary, I can't smell, B-A-D, D for daring, um, D for, I don't know, demonstrative, A for accessible and sassy and sexy. Anyway, um, make up your own. I made up mine.
All right.
So
Beautiful.
obviously I can't remember all of it, but it's wonderful because it's a mantra. It's something you can live into, you know, and it's something that you can make your own, and you turn yourself around
Oh,
inside
that's
of saying,
remarkable.
I'm a badass, you know. Clarity, courage, confidence, commitment, and community. That's
What a
me,
concept.
you know, and it's wonderful to be able to do that. So that's kind of how it started.
Glenda, whether it's your live shows, videos, or storytelling, you have that deep ability to connect with your audience. What's the secret to creating that intimate bond, even in large venues or digital spaces?
How do I connect with my audience? For me, I always feel it starts here. So if I'm loving myself, I'm taking care of myself, I'm honoring myself, and I'm standing in that place, then I can show up fully to my audience, whether it be storytelling, whether it be video, whether it be online, you know, it doesn't matter, live, whatever, live's my favorite. But it's love. It really is. And I allow myself to be present and to be fully there with everyone. And when you do that, you intuitively understand what is needed in the moment. I'm a Reiki master, um, and you just understand what is needed energetically. Call it what you will, spiritual, whatever, um, and then you can be present to the love and the sharing that can be back and forth energetically between everyone, and that's what I do.
All right, all right, all right. The badass goddess is on side. When you donate proceeds from your music to One Tree Planet, why did you choose that organization? And how does environmental activism fit into your artistic mission?
Well, environmental impacts everything and everybody, and it also impacts me and my business. So for me, I would rather say, look, you support me as a business, as an artist, as a human being. You buy my merchandise, you listen to my music, you listen to my podcast, you do whatever towards me. And then whatever you purchase, so my merchandise, my books, my music, if you want, um, and then I take $1 off of that, and then I am partnering with One Tree Planted, and then I go on there and I purchase every month. I purchase a allotted amount of trees. So this month I purchased 20 trees, and so for me, that's then it's a beautiful, I don't even know how to explain it. It's this beautiful echoing of like, you supported me, now I'm going to support you, and I'm supporting the environment. So I'm actually taking some of that money and then giving back. You know, I'm giving back to a cause that connects to everybody. Trees, oxygen, water, it all connects to all of us. And it's not just cancer, or not to belittle it, but it's not just, muscular dystrophy or whatever. That's fine. Knock yourself out. But for me, it's really important that it touches everybody. Everybody needs water. Everybody need clean water. Everybody needs trees that aren't burned. Everyone, we need to replant. We need to educate. We need to rise up. And that's really my key thing around all that I
Hey, you are a true force of nature.
do. Yeah, thanks.
You perform for world leaders and at women's empowerment events. Have there been any movement where music shift the energy in the room in any way you didn't expect it?
You know, I think every time I step on stage, I just try to keep an open space, a love space. And yes, I'm surprised sometimes on how the energy shifts in the room, how people interact or react after. Um, it's actually phenomenal. But anyway, I'm just holding space for their greatness, and I get to use my gift to use the frequency to vibrate in a higher level so they can see themselves. And that's the key.
All right, all right, all right. As someone who wears many hats, artist, producer, author, activist, how do you recharge and stay grounded through all of it?
Yeah, how do I stay recharged and what are some of my ways? Well, first of all, know thyself. You have to really understand, like, and it's different every time in life, like every stage of life. What's important? How do you best take care of yourself? This is true across the board, not just for me. How do I best take care of myself? And for me, what I like to do is I like to make sure I exercise every day. I do my vocal lessons every day. I do my business correspondences, and then I have time to I freely think about what's next, what's creative for me, who do I need to have on a team that will help raise me to the next level so I can make a bigger difference. Um, and so that's part of my routine. And then just, being with people that I love and taking care of people whenever they need it.
What advice would you give to younger artists who want to use their platform for social change but don't know where to start?
I would say for younger artists, or just any artist, really, find what you're passionate about. Really, really, take that moment to, um, you know, think about, okay, what platform, what social change, um, what the I want to make, and then, how do you, and that's where you start. You start there. Like my thing is all about service. I'm really connected to the planet and people, and I want to make the difference while I'm here. And so I pick things from that place. What are you pick things from? And that's what I would ask, you know, don't think about from your heart. Like what is it that you really calls you? Um that's it. The calling. What's the calling? Not just like, oh, well, let me donate over here to something, or yeah, don't do that. Just look around, look deeper, look within yourself. What is it are you inspired by, or you're passionate by, or you really want to make that difference? Go there.
You created your own space in the industry, your own record label, your podcasts. What challenges did you face carving out your own lane? And how did you overcome them?
Okay. How do you carve out your own space in the industry? How do I create my own lane? And how did I overcome? Well, let me tell you, it's an ongoing thing. It's not just one and done. I tell you, everything has its ups, everything has its downs. So, as an independent, I'm an independent artist. I don't have a record label backing me. I don't have the big finances and all that stuff. That's a whole nother area, a whole nother field, a whole nother game. As an independent person, you really have to set yourself up with a team, and really, and I mean team, like you really need, I'm getting to that place now where I really need a bigger team. So that's what I would say as far as um, that goes. And again, like it's nothing, nothing to overcome. I mean, it's an ongoing journey. So you just get smarter, you get better, you get more creative, you bring more people in, you listen to your community. and then you do things from there.
For those discovering your work today, where can they find your music, your books, a platform where everything comes together, or connect to all your projects? Do you have a website?
Oh, yeah, you can go to my website, and it's really simple. It's Glenda, Glenda, music, music.com. That takes you there. It's actually glendabenevides.com, but good luck trying to spell that. But that's who I am. And it's Glenda Music. That's super simple. You can go on there. You can read about everything I'm doing. I have retreats. I have all kinds of fun stuff that really uplift and raise people's consciousness. So you can get on there. You can buy my book, Courage, Find Your Fire, Ignite Action in Your Life. You can buy Soul on Fire. You can buy Own the Goddess Within. I have all of that. I have merchandise that's really fun. I especially have stuff for Pride, but we're past Pride, but it's Pride every day, okay? So you can go there. That's easy. I have a YouTube channel. You can watch all my videos and my interviews from my podcasts, Glenda Music and Global Badass Goddess. And it's youtube.com/C/Glenda Benevides. So that's I have 2 channels on there. I don't know what the other one is. So it's the big one with a lot of people on it and all the videos and stuff. So yeah, so please, go there and then, if you want to reach out, please do reach out. You can send me a note and I will respond.
What's next for Glenda Benevides?
So what's next? I'll tell you what's next. So many things. What's next is Grammys. So we are prepping right now. We're getting ready to vote. And just for those of you that don't understand Grammys, the Grammy Awards is an industry award. It's for artists that belong to the Recording Academy. And once you're in the Recording Academy, you have the opportunity and the option to play with a like-minded community. You can also put your music up for an award, and know that as an independent, you are working against the big boys. So things get a little more challenging, but I must say, get nominated and get a Grammy. So I would say I'm doing that. I got several songs right now that are being up for an award this year, and I'm very excited in the contemporary blues album category and roots. So that's exciting. That's what's next. We're winding down for that so that everything happens way in advance. So yes, Grammys happen in February. That's the awards show. The rest of us are working and we're getting stuff up and getting it online. You can find me. The newest song right now is called God's Gonna Cut You Down. It's a wonderful, my first time. It's a remake of an old song, God's Gonna Cut You Down. I think Marilyn Manson redid it. Odetta, Johnny Cash. So please go listen to it. I would love it if you downloaded it or you even bought it from me. That would be great. I love my version, and I'm excited to share that with all of you. And that's what's on deck. Next, after that is I'll be in the UK, in London, on October 11th. I'll be doing a one-day workshop, and you'll be able to see me in person and hear and see my experience called Soul on Fire. It's a multimedia experience, and we do dive into what it means to have clarity, courage, confidence, commitment, and community. So that should be really fun. You can find that on my website if you're going to be in London, or if you're already in London. You can purchase a ticket online. Just go under one day revival retreat. That's what it's called, the one day revival retreat. Haha. So that'll be October 11th in the UK in London. I think it's called Studio 68. So I'll be there, and then I think we're going to head up to Scotland. We have a show up there. I'm also meeting with my fabulous vocal coach, who actually trained. I forgot her name. Anyway, we're putting together a wonderful show ourselves a jazz this year. So, or next year, coming next year. But anyway, very exciting. That's what's on deck. That's what's happening. That's what we're going to be doing in October. So if you're there or you want to come there, reach out to me. You can buy a ticket. It's really nominal fee, and it's going to be fun. And you'll get to meet several other artists and a beautiful Dr. Madeline Chan. She'll be working with me. She's got a wonderful portion of the workshop around self-expression and letting yourself play physically, vocally, mentally, emotionally. So it's fantastic. You're going to love it. And that's what's next. So glendamusic.com. You can find everything you need there. And I'm on every social platform.
If you want to reach the world, be a guest on WJ's podcast, Sizing Up the Music, and on YouTube podcasts. This is your chance to tell your story, the one that could be exactly what someone out there has been waiting for. Share your wins, your struggles, your pitfalls, the lessons that you've learned along the way. You might inspire someone to help them take that first step, or help them see the path more clearly. Maybe change your life, because sometimes you have to see it, hear it, to believe it. And here's the twist. Don't be surprised if you find out that you are the one you've been waiting for. There it is. You heard it from the artist herself, Glenda Benevides. And thank you for riding all the way with WJ. Your support is greatly appreciated. You can put your shoes back on.
that I want to make, and then, how do you, and that's where you start. You start there. Like my thing is all about service. I'm really connected to the planet and people, and I want to make the difference while I'm here. And so I pick things from that place. What do you pick things from? And that's what I would ask, you know, don't think about from your heart. Like, what is it that you really calls you? Um, that's it. The calling. What's the calling? Not just like, oh, well, let me donate over here to something, or yeah, don't do that. Just look around, look deeper, look within yourself. What is it are you inspired by, or you're passionate by, or you really want to make that difference? Go there. Okay. How do you carve out your own space in the industry? How do I create my own lane? And how did I overcome? Well, let me tell you, it's an ongoing thing. It's not just one and done. I tell you, everything has its ups, everything has its downs. So, as an independent, I'm an independent artist. I don't have a record label backing me. I don't have the big finances and all that stuff. That's a whole nother area, a whole nother field, a whole nother game. As an independent person, you really have to set yourself up with a team, and really, and I mean team, like you really need, I'm getting to that place now where I really need a bigger team. So that's what I would say as far as um, that goes. And again, like it's nothing, nothing to overcome. I mean, it's an ongoing journey. So you just get smarter, you get better, get more creative, you bring more people in, you listen to your community, and then you do things from there. Yeah. So what's next? I'll tell you what's next. So many things. What's next is Grammys. So we are prepping right now. We're getting ready to vote. And just for those of you that don't understand Grammys, um, the Grammy Awards is an industry award. It's for artists that belong to the Recording Academy. And once you're in the Recording Academy, you have the opportunity and the option to play with a like minded community. You can also put your music up for an award, and know that as an independent, you are working against the big boys. So things get a little more challenging, but I must say, you still can get nominated and get a Grammy. So I would say I'm doing that. I got several songs right now that are being up for an award this year, and I'm very excited in the contemporary blues album category and roots. So that's exciting. That's what's next. We're winding down for that, so that everything happens way in advance. So yes, Grammys happen in February. That's the awards show. The rest of us are working, and we're getting stuff up and getting it online. You can find me. The newest song right now is called "God's Gonna Cut You Down." It's a wonderful, my first time. It's a remake of an old song, God's Gonna Cut You Down. I think Marilyn Manson redid it, Odetta, uh, Johnny Cash. So please go listen to it. I would love it if you downloaded it, or even bought it from me. That would be great. I love my version, and I'm excited to share that with all of you. And that's what's on deck. Next, after that, is I'll be in the UK in London on October 11th. I'll be doing a 1 day workshop, and you'll be able to see me in person and hear and see my experience called Soul on Fire. It's a multimedia experience, and we do dive into what it means to have clarity, courage, confidence, commitment, and community. So that should be really fun. You can find that on my website if you want to. If you're going to be in London, or if you're already in London, you can purchase a ticket online. Just go under 1 day revival retreat. That's what it's called, the 1 day revival retreat. Haha. Um, so that'll be October 11th in the UK in London at I think it's called Studio 68. So I'll be there, and then I think we're going to head up to Scotland. We have a show up there. I'm also meeting with my fabulous vocal coach, who actually trained uh, oh gosh, what's her name? I just forgot her name. Anyway, he's fabulous. We're putting together a wonderful show ourselves of jazz this year. So, or next year, probably next year. But anyway, very exciting. That's what's on deck. That's what's happening. That's what we're going to be doing in October. So if you're there or you want to come there, reach out to me. You can buy a ticket. It's really nominal fee, and it's going to be fun, and you'll get to meet several other artists and a beautiful Dr. Madeline Chan. She'll be working with me. She's got a wonderful portion of the workshop around self-expression and letting yourself play, um, physically, vocally, mentally, emotionally. So it's fantastic. You're going to love it. And that's what's next. So glendamusic.com. You can find everything you need there. Um, and I'm on every social platform except for X. So that's it. And thanks so much.